Why can't you talk about all of the hybrid races?
I can't tell you why I can't talk about all of the hybrid races. Otherwise, I'd be talking about all of the hybrid races.
Okay. Just remember, I didn't ask it.
I'm not talking to you.
Okay. And if the Sasani beings are always learning,
Yes.
but they have no memory,
Yes.
how do they learn without memory?
We know what we need to know when we need to know it. And as we expand our consciousness, we allow ourselves the experience of knowing more because we are becoming more than we used to be.
So for those on Earth that are having trouble with memory,
forget about it. And you won't have any trouble.
Is this something that we are going to learn how to do?
I'm not being facetious.
What about forgetting about?
Forget about having trouble with memory, and you'll know what you need to know when you need to know it.
Right, because I think a lot of humans get very anxious when their memory is not working as well as they would like.
That's simply because of what they've been taught to think about their relationship to the idea of knowledge.
Right, and I think you've mentioned previously that I remember that you mentioned
Yes.
that one of the reasons that that's happening is because people are learning how to shift to knowing what they need to know when they need to know it in the moment.
Yes.
And as part of that shift, you might experience what you would consider a lack of memory.
Remember that memory is an illusion anyway. You're still creating memory in the present. So let go of the old definitions of memory as if it is actually remembering the past. No such thing.
Right, because you are actually generating an idea of the past from the present.
Exactly. Therefore, you're creating the memory anyway in the present.
And
so just relax the need to remember specific things from the past, and you will start to realize that you will know what you need to know in the moment when you need it.
Would you like to suggest a tool for becoming more adept at knowing what you need to know when you need to know it, in addition to relaxing?
I would love to, but I forgot what it was. And that is the tool. Laugh. It centers you and allows you to know what you need to know.
Okay, that's great.
Laughter is not only, as you say, the best medicine. It is truly that which centers you, integrates you. So you will then be more present, and when you are more present, you will see what is present with you.
And then you'll have lots of presents.
Exactly. The trainee didn't really give you a complete idea of the silence on Sasani. There is, nevertheless, even though we no longer really often use our ancient language, no lack of laughter.
So the silence is not complete. Can you hear people laughing, or is it kind of silent laughter?
It can be both. It can be both and often is.
Now, I just got something that you can actually hear songs in the forest.
Yes.
That's what I got.
Remember that it is similar to the idea of what we have come to understand as music. Our music to your ears would sound exceedingly simple. So much so that you would wonder what the heck we're playing. But we can hear more harmonics than you can. So something that may sound exceedingly simple to you would sound like a symphony to us. And therefore that translates right over to many of the vibrations coming out of nature. We can hear more of the vibrations than you typically allow yourselves to hear. And therefore, truly, in many cases, there are symphonies on Sasani all the time if you have the ear to hear them. So it's not silent in that sense, only in the sense that you understand noise and silence. But to us, There is a constant flow of melody, music, harmony, symphony, laughter. Even light makes music.
It kind of reminds me of many of the animals on our planet can hear a much wider range of
Yes.
sound.
Yes.
And it's like because your frequency is so accelerated, you can hear the higher harmonics.
Yes. And the
It's
fuller
richer.
and deeper harmonics that extend even into other dimensions that interpenetrate with the dimension you may be having an experience in. It's a very, very, very deep suspension into a musical soup in which we live. The atmosphere itself is like walking through music.
Beautiful.
It is.
And the last area of exploration here has to do with spirit.
Yes.
The first question was like, where are we when we're in spirit?
Here, now, more so than ever. Everything is here and now. It's just a different frequency.
So when you say that we have fallen asleep in spirit,
I didn't say you fell asleep. I said you were dreaming.
you never said that you fall asleep.
You don't fall asleep, but you can dream.
Okay, so you just simply become the state, or a portion of your being in spirit becomes the state of dreaming.
Yes.
And then through that dreaming experience, you experience yourself as a physical being?
Yes. We understand that we talked about the euphemism of saying, well, when you go to bed, you're actually waking up, and when you wake up, you're actually dreaming. But that wasn't meant to imply that from the spirit point of view, you feel like you're falling asleep. You're just simply utilizing a portion of your consciousness to experience what to you would be the closest analogy of a dream.
Okay. Okay.
This is experienced in a very different way from the point of view of spirit than it might be experienced in your understanding from within the dream.
And then lastly, one person asked, when there are so many parallel realities, how can you find the world that we're on?
There are frequencies and vibrations within my own being that attract me automatically to the things that excite me. This is what we originally meant when we said, you've sent out the invitation for first contact. All we had to do was be a first contact specialist to pick up on it. Therefore, it acts as a beacon, a homing beacon that we can zero in on very readily, because you're giving off a vibration that we contain that represents a world ready to begin the process of contact. Simple as that. How do you find the television program on your TV set?
You change the channels.
You change to the frequency that is representative of that particular show. And there it is. So if your remote tuner contains the ability to lock on to that frequency, then that frequency will come through your television set. A crude analogy perhaps, but sufficient. We contain the frequency of those worlds wishing first contact. That's who we are. That's what we are as a first contact specialist. So those will be the signals that we will hear the strongest because they have to do with our excitement. So we heard you shout, and we answered.
We're so happy that you heard our frequency and made this wonderful communication and appearance today and always.
Our end-to-end security